choice, might be their decision, but only applies to abortion apparently, right? But apparently when it comes to people's choice, when it comes to a vaccine that technically is experimental, and you can't sue the vaccine companies. So if I can't have any recourse, if I have any damages from this said vaccine, then why is the city, is my question, the mayor still, and still pushing the idea that you have to have the vaccine or no job whatsoever? Just totally disgusting.
Okay. So obviously I don't speak for the mayor.
No,
I staunchly disagree with the mayor on mandates. I, along with all my Republican colleagues. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but CDC very quietly just changed their guidelines.
Yes.
And so just to summarize what that is, they basically said that if you have the vaccine and if you had COVID, it's the same thing, there's no difference. So now, why did we fire all these city workers who lost their jobs because they didn't want to take the vaccine? We actually also forced a lot of people to take the vaccine because there were so many people who took the vaccine when they didn't want to, but they were afraid to lose their jobs. So they were literally forced to take it. They had no choice. This issue is completely in the purview of the mayor. The city council does not vote on the mandates. The mayor decides. It's the mayor who works with the health commissioner on this. Now, the Republican delegation has been speaking out about this for a long time. Actually, since I took office, we had protests, we had rallies. We called on the mayor. It was still, when I got into office, it was still Mayor de Blasio. We called on him, we called on the new mayor to just get rid of the mandates. And we just, last week requested, since the guidelines came out, requested again a meeting with the mayor. We wrote him a letter, we requested a meeting. We're gonna meet with the mayor. We're going to pressure him to get rid of the mandates and to rehire and compensate the workers that were fired. That is the best that we can do. We cannot make any laws regarding this specific issue, yes.
I know that some Medical Freedom Party candidates here in the room, I know Tom mentioned, I think Tomiskowitz is a Medical Freedom Party candidate, and they're trying to stop the mandates and stuff, and work politically to do that. But my question is that I'm glad you said reinstate and compensate. You believe that?
I do.
Because
I don't say anything I don't believe in.
Yeah, no, because another city council.
I know he doesn't sound like a politician, but maybe Hashi knows.
Another Republican city councilwoman has actually said that she no longer supports reinstate and compensate, just reinstate.
You said a Republican councilwoman?
Republican councilwoman, yes, I went to meetings. And also my question is, not you, right?
No, I know, but like, I'm very close with all my colleagues.
Okay, well, I
don't think that's right.
Well, okay, well, anyway, another Republican city councilwoman has also said that she has respect for our gaps. So just the elephant in the room is kind of what just happened with the fact that there is this kind of feeling very anti-our gaps, which is understandable. But when you say that, and I understand you have to work with them, and I respect that, and you need to be diplomatic to get things done. But can you explain, maybe give us a few sentences, what he's done that we should respect, what he's done that you think you've worked with him, and just give us rather than just a short answer, give us a little bit more, broaden it out as to why we should think that maybe there's something that happens. Thank you.
Look, like I said, I don't think this mayor is perfect. I don't think any mayor is perfect. I don't think any government is perfect. And I definitely don't agree with every single thing he's doing. There are things that I agree with him on, and there are things that I don't agree with him on. Crime, I agree with him on. Mandates, I disagree with him on. You can work with someone and agree with them on issues and disagree with them on issues. You have yet to find me a politician that you're going to agree with on every single issue. If you can bring me an example of a politician that you agree with on every single issue,
yeah. But again, just give an example.
So I think that the crime issue is number one in the city, and I'll tell you what he's doing. That's very different than what de Blasio was doing for 8 years. And by the way, you have to understand and remember that Mayor de Blasio had an 8 years of his grind in the city. His administration ruled for 8 years, and they've had 8 years to destroy a lot of things here. They've destroyed our merit-based education system. They've let the homeless be on the streets. it's dirty everywhere, rats are everywhere, and crime is rampant on the trains and just all over our city. That is totally, I attribute all of that to Mayor de Blasio and his complete incompetency and left-wing policies. So we have to, you cannot clean up 8 years of destroying our city in a month. So all I'm saying is, my opinion is, at the very least, I want to give this guy a shot. If after a year or a year and a half, everything is the same, then we have to say what's going on here. Something's really wrong, right? But it is very helpful for us to work with the mayor, and trust me, I'm doing this. I'm over there. I'm sitting progressive on the left, progressive on the right, mayor over here. I have to work with these people, and I think that the Republican delegation is doing a pretty good job at balancing it out, where we get to speak out against the Democrats, against the left, work with centrist Democrats, and work with the mayor, who I promise you is not as bad as you guys might think. That's it.
Ramon?
Yes.
Hey, Ina.
Hey.
NYC.
What's going on?
I have a question. There was one question I've been finding out, because I've been hearing this issue. What is the issue when it comes to the children? Because I've been hearing about kids. They're trying to indoctrinate kids from LGBT curriculums, and I actually spoken to people who are from LGBT. Some of them are actually against this.
Are you talking about the drag queen hour? Drag queen story hour?
No problem.
Okay.
I'll make it.
I spoke. There were gay men. There were
Yeah.
some lesbians I spoke to.
Yeah.
There were some who actually are against this indoctrination.
Which indoctrination? Are you talking about the drag queen story hour or no?
No.
Okay, so which indoctrination? There's a lot of indoctrination.
Telling children that they're boys and
They're,
girls.
okay,
and
so
boys and girls
they,
and boys.
right now, the complaints that we're getting a lot is, something about the drag queen story hour. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yes.
Okay, so, and then like, for example, they're hanging up BLM signs in classrooms.
Right.
Right, so I mean, look, another thing that we're talking to the mayor about, nothing that we're gonna be able to pass in the city council, nothing that the city council can do. People have to understand that, like, city council, we're not magicians, like, there's no magic wand. We're basically here to do two things, right? Take your complaints about sanitation, traffic, homelessness, all kinds of things, work with the mayor or other agencies to solve those problems, and then speak out, and obviously legislation, so voting, and then speak out about certain issues to bring light to those problems. For example, like anti-Semitism, anti-Asian hate are things that I speak out about a lot, right? We don't have the kind of power that sometimes people might think we do. So, like, the mayor's power is very different, and even the mayor, as we talked about earlier, is very limited, because even he cannot get rid of bail reform, because that's an Albany thing. So everybody has their limitations, and sometimes people expect us to just, wave a magic wand and we'll be able to fix all the problems. We just cannot, but we do address these issues a lot amongst ourselves, our colleagues, and the mayor too. Yes. Okay? I'll take one more questions and then I'll go
Yes, to follow up on what the comment you just made. My name is Thomas Mitchell. I'm running for Congress in District 6 in Queens.
Okay.
Just to let you know, follow up on what you just said about the magic wand. But, to me, it kind of seems surprising where if the mayor can turn around and say he's in charge of a mandate for kids to get vaccinated to school, why can't he mandate that no BLM signs can be in the classroom, or that no story time can be anywhere? You see the contrast of what I'm saying? Is, in other words, if he has the power about the vaccine, which is a personal choice, what about the signs and the curriculum and everything else in the school system? It seems to me he
Well,
does
yeah,
have a magic
the
wand.
Department of
and he can
Education.
pick and choose what he wants to go for, what he wants to implement, and nobody can go against what he says or force him to do it.
I mean, of course we can go against it. That's why we're speaking out against the mandates.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go on our social media, you'll see that we're literally saying, Mayor Adams, you need to change this, right? And we're going to tell him that face to face too. And yeah, there are things that he can do. He can do a lot more things than the city council can do alone. The city council can vote on things together, right, and pass legislation, but of course he's the mayor of the city. And there are things that he will do and things that he won't do. The city elected him to make these kind of choices.
But he still does have
So-
he still does have the authority, like with the vaccine thing about.
You could set a tone, that's all you can do.
Right, the school.
Which is,
So-
to me, more of a health issue, which is more of a societal issue, which brings it in line with also the LGBTQ, the BLM thing, and the indoctrination, and whatever else they're trying to shove down the kids' throats, which is even more important in a way compared to the vaccine thing. So if he can do this, why can't he do this?
Well, again,
You know, and-
I completely agree with you, by the way, about the indoctrination. I'm just as upset about it as you are. I think kids should learn math and science and not be indoctrinated with LGBT and BLM. But I don't speak for the mayor. You could ask him. So in my opinion, this is not something the mayor would take up. He supported Drag Queen Hour, which we disagree with. So there are things the mayor does that, like I said, I don't agree.
Well, you've met him personally. You've met
Numerous
with
times.
these so-called progressives in the city council. Sure, you've met in rooms, personally. You've just had lunch and dinner with some of them. No problem. What is your opinion in the best way to counteract this, as far as the population-wise, all of us in the city who are against these certain issues? What would you recommend as knowing them personally and how they go about it? Are they doing this just for the money to push something? Someone's paying them to push this agenda? What is your opinion as far as, do they really believe this indoctrination communist thing that they're trying to shove down the kids' throat? Or are they being paid by some outside sources, such as, say, George Soros, like they say, he's funding everything? I mean, in your opinion, for meeting these people
I don't
personally?
have any evidence of them getting
No.
paid for anything, so if I don't know personally, I wouldn't say. Look, my opinion is always the same. You need to go out and vote for the right people. The reason why we're in this place where we are, I wanted to say a bad word, but I won't, is because we have this majority of city council who is very left-wing. I mean, we couldn't even
Reflects
pass
the
a bill.
population.
Communists, not
We
It reflects the
couldn't even
population.
pass a bill that would help police officers extend their pension. So everyone has this advantage of pension, and the police department is the only one who doesn't. And we tried to pass a bill that came to the floor and didn't even pass, even with centrist Democrats in the council. And didn't pass because this council doesn't want to do anything to support our police department. The only bill they'll pass that's relating to the police is a reporting bill. Okay? That's it. You cannot pass a bill. So even if I was a Democrat and I was a conservative Democrat and I would propose a bill, let's support our police, let's refund the police, whatever it is, it wouldn't pass. It just wouldn't pass.
Why not?
So in order to change
Because they don't want to bring it
the
up to a
state
vote.
of our city, we
They don't
need to
wanna bring it
elect the
forward.
right people.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Another
we're gonna
district.
have a chance, not just to elect Lee Zeldin, but we're gonna have a chance to elect more Republicans to the city council in the
Well,
next
that's what we
election.
wanted, yeah.
So it's the
Because
state
of
and
the
the city.
redistricting and the
Okay.
maps that are changing. And there are gonna be seats that are gonna be very, very ripe for Republicans. We could get at least 2 more Republicans in the city council with the new maps. Now, the new maps are not finalized yet. They're gonna be finalized in, I believe, November. We've seen the first draft of the maps, but I really believe there are gonna be at least 2 seats that we can take. But honestly, that's up to all of us. That's up to the people. The way the people elected me, we can elect more Republicans in the council. And then look, the more Republicans or conservatives or even centrist Democrats that there are in the council, the more the mayor will be a lot more likely to change these rules because he also listens to the council. And because there are so many voices in the council that don't agree with us, he's prone to listen to some of them because they represent the majority of our city.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
Very
Okay?
good. Thank you
All right,
so
of
much.
course.
I'll do a quick picture.